I'm Dmitry Shishkin. I'm a World Service Group Digital Development Editor. That means that I'm responsible for growing digital audiences across the world which consume news for the BBC, for World Service, on mobile devices, on desktop devices, on all sorts of things.
Dmitry, you've recently launched an initiative looking at innovation in Africa. Tell me what that's about.
So we always wanted to understand how our audiences consume BBC News, and we know that they consume it on all sorts of devices, and we also knew that Africa was undergoing this huge technical transformation, and we know that Africa is going to have hundreds of millions of additional internet connections or mobile phone subscriptions by the end of this decade, and we really wanted to ride that wave of technical innovation to actually be relevant for the people who we do news for anyway. And we know that people are transforming from, say, shortwave radio to TV to FM. And in some cases, they completely omit the desktop version of news consumption, and they go from shortwave directly to mobile phone. It was really important for us to, although we know about some of that, we really wanted to actually engage the local tech scene so that we can prove some of our hypotheses.
So in practical terms, you've gone to two places. Tell me all about what you're doing there.
So we went to Kenya first, and we have toured Africa in August. Have been to 5 different places, selected 2 places to actually stage hack events in, and we went to Nairobi first. Nairobi is increasingly becoming, Kenya's capital is increasingly becoming a really important place for the BBC. Our main bureau now is there, our Swahili service is there, so we have it's a hub for the BBC. So we went there, and we also partnered with a very innovative place, which actually is one of the best innovators in Africa, called iHub. And we wanted to gather a group of innovators, tech startups, companies which are interested in that sort of technology, and just to help us with particular problem. The way I see it is, you come in, you explain what kind of problem BBC is having or experiencing in a particular part of digital news, and you ask people without any agenda just to help think of something new around that. And in Kenya, we innovated around around the intersection of social and mobile. And that was very important for us, because social means mobile, and mobile means social, and you always, you give access to people, you give people access to content APIs and all sorts of technology, explain to them what kind of content we do, and just so we're clear, we're not changing our editorial. It was not the case. The case was to transform the method of delivery. And nobody is saying that suddenly we're going to close the existing technology we have, like the mobile responsive websites and something like that. But I was looking for, the way I see it is, I would like BBC content to build a habit for a user to consume BBC content regularly.
And you had a particular problem, didn't you? Because when you met these people, you discovered that they said this was the kind of content their parents
maybe not the content itself, but the perception. Yeah. And this is pretty well known, that we're trying very hard to present ourselves as a modern, dynamic, vibrant brand, which does not only radio, because perhaps BBC still has the largest audience coming to the BBC in Africa is still on radio. Although TV is growing, although digital is growing, but we really know that actually, although our digital audience is growing, general digital audiences in Africa are growing even faster. So we were trying to say, well, guys, you know the market much better than us, much better than our technologists here in London. And what if you just come up with an idea, and if we like the idea, we commit to actually build it. And of 13 teams which we had in Nairobi, 2 of the teams were actually offered to proceed into the pilot stage, meaning that we invest some money into the build, and iHub help us project manage the whole thing. And ultimately, we are looking at a audience-facing product, which 2 of those teams will have built.
You can't talk in detail about what those 2 teams are doing, but give me some general idea of the...
So one team is building something around a mobile proposition which takes BBC content and presents it in a very interesting and engaging way for the users of mobile phones and chat apps. So that's one. Yeah. And second team is trying to take the existing BBC content and do something with it, which I can tell you what it is, to curate it in a particular way, which will make it particularly relevant to people living in Kenya.
And tomorrow you're going on to do a second workshop in Cape Town.
Yes, so the next leg of our journey is in Cape Town, and whereas in Nairobi it was social and mobile, in Cape Town it's audio and mobile. Because obviously World Service has been doing radio for 80 years, and we have the, currently BBC internationally commands the audience of 265 million every week, and that's a combination of radio, TV and websites. Obviously, radio plays a really important part, but radio, potentially, you do syndication for radio for FM partners, you do shortwave still, you do all sorts of things. But
radio is also changing, isn't it? Because you have
precisely,
radio.
Well, precisely, and we want to know now, what can we learn about how audio can be traveling further and building communities around it using mobile technology.
And you'd like to see some of these ideas start in Africa and go global?
So the main idea and the main prerequisite for me was in my brain. People who take part, they don't really need to know that, but one of the success criteria, apart from the product actually being built, another one would be that the product should be scalable. So you can actually go to the similar circumstances. So instead of Kenya, you can go to Nigeria or Ghana or Senegal. Or you can go to the other continent and you go to India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, and where the mobile revolution is actually happening. And the mobile revolution is absolutely, it's huge there, because obviously, the price of data will be going down, the number of subscribers will be going up, the smartphones which used to cost $200 are now already $50, so in the next couple of years, we will be, something we are learning now, we will be actually benefiting from in the next two to 3 years.
And who are you working with in Cape Town?
In Cape Town, we're working with a hub called Our Labs, which is also a very, very established and well-known innovation institution there. So we're really looking forward. We actually had a tech meeting with all the participants yesterday, and I was just talking to someone, and they told me that there were between 50 and 60 people were there. So the interest is there, and hopefully, if we have 15 teams or 10 teams, hopefully a couple of them will have come up with something truly amazing.